Before we get into it though, most skinny guys make a ton of excuses. They say things like, yeah, I eat a lot, when it turns out they don't. And I want you to stick around to the end because I've got a little secret that's going to change the game for you. Aren't you just sick and tired of being scrawny, having skinny stick arms, having a pigeon chest? I know exactly how you feel. And I want to show you the top 5 foods that you need to start eating if you want to bulk up and build some real muscle mass. And I want you to stick around to the end because I've got a little secret that's going to change the game for you. Before we get into it though, most skinny guys make a ton of excuses. They say things like, yeah, I eat a lot, when it turns out they don't. And you want to know how I know that's not true? I want you to think of your calories like a bank. If I'm depositing money in the bank, that bank is going to grow. If I'm spending too much money, my bank account decreases. The same thing applies when you're trying to gain weight. If you're burning a ton of calories but not consuming enough, your weight's going to go down. If you're consuming more calories than you're burning, then your weight is going to increase. So the reality is with most guys, they're just not in a calorie surplus. And another mistake that most guys make is they don't track any calories. So although you're having 5 meals a day, if you don't track those 5 meals a day, then it doesn't really make sense. So let's get into it. Food number 1 is beef. You don't want to bring no beef. Bring some beef, you'll lose some teeth. All right, that was a joke. Anyway, if you're not eating beef, trust me, you're not gonna gain no weight. Steak, it's got some good fats in there, lots of protein, high calories. Usually when I'm trying to lose weight, I don't eat red meat, but when I'm trying to gain weight, I eat red meat. It's very high quality and it has all the amino acids essential for repairing your muscle and providing muscle growth. If you're not eating beef, that might be one reason why you aren't gaining weight. Beef has a ton of nutrients, which is very, very useful for us and our overall general health. I'm talking iron, zinc, B12. All of these are key to our health as human beings. Plus, who doesn't like a good old steak? So my advice to you is make sure you get some beef on your plate. That's going to be a major food that will help you gain weight. Option number 2, peanut butter. Now, this is so calorie dense that for a very small serving, you can get a ton of calories. And if you pick the right kind of peanut butter, you can get healthy fats in there, plus a ton of protein. And the really good thing about peanut butter is it's so easy to incorporate. You can have it with your smoothies, your protein shakes, peanut butter and jelly, so you can have it with sandwiches. And for one little serving, you get so many calories. So for me, peanut butter, easy solution. The next thing that I'll be having for a bulk is a good old mass gainer. Now, it's important that you pick the right one and you're not just eating calories for the sake of eating calories. But if you get the right mass gainer, I promise you, it's going to help you hit your protein targets. It's going to be an easier way for you to actually hit your calorie target. And if you're someone who can't eat a lot of food, why don't you drink your food? It's an easy way, it's an easy option for me anyway. The one that I have here is called Mutant Mass, and a couple of scoops will provide you with at least 600 calories. So boy, that's a meal right there. However, don't go crazy with the mass gainers. You should be eating real food, but that does top you up, especially if you're someone who consistently undereats or fails to hit their calorie target when you're trying to bulk up. Option number 3, pasta, particularly whole wheat pasta, because it actually has more calories per 100 grams. Now, I don't have any whole wheat pasta to show you, but there's a reason why people think that eating carbs makes you fat, and it's because pasta has a lot of calories in them. So it's a great way to bulk up when you're trying to gain some weight and put on some more muscle mass. In any good nutritional profile, you do need some complex carbs, which pasta does provide. Last but not least, some milk. Ideally whole milk, but today I've got some semi-skim. Lots of healthy fats in there, lots of calories, protein, calcium, and just like beef, it's actually rich in nutrients, vitamin D, B12, and vitamin A. And we're trying to build some strong bones, especially when we're trying to gain weight and get bulky. So my advice, get some whole milk, put it in your diet. If you just eat this crap and gain weight too quickly, unfortunately, you are just gonna get fat. And one thing you have to remember is the calorie surplus versus muscle protein synthesis. To gain weight, you simply need to consume more calories than you burn. The problem that guys face is when they eat way too much calories, their body can only use a certain amount of those calories for muscle protein synthesis. So if you eat excess calories, more than what your body can actually use for protein synthesis, then essentially that gets stored as fat. And that's why you see a lot of guys doing the dirty bulk thing and they get fat and it ain't a good look. A study in the Journal of the International Society of Sports Nutrition actually found that you don't really need to have too much calories to then gain weight and build muscle mass. So you need to make sure that your calories are not in a crazy surplus. And last but not least, if you are not tracking your calories, you cannot say that you're eating loads and not gaining weight. That is a myth. It's not true. That cannot happen. If you start putting them foods in your diet and track your calories, I promise you, you will gain weight, you will bulk up, you will no longer be skinny. And if you want to know how I stay lean all year round, all you got to do is watch this video right here.